Everybody, and welcome back to Middle-earth. This is Count MRVHS with another episode of our 4th Age Rhun campaign for the 4th Age Total War, Dominion of Men. When last we left, we had a rather grindy assault of Yath in Ra, and the next turn or two later, Rovanian responded by putting Breg Essalad under siege with this small stack here. That's probably enough to take the city. So I have been assembling some troops to send them to the west. It looks like there's another army here approaching Yath in Ra, so we will have to probably sally out and deal with that. In the south, Harad has become a bit more daring, and so they've got a couple of stacks prowling around the borders of Akarn. I've stripped away one of the two stacks I had in the central part of my homelands. This is Fand the Hunter. He was the guy running, who is in charge of the defeat we suffered at the hands of the Reunited Kingdom, so hopefully he'll do a little bit better fighting against Harad. I've sent him down with what troops I could gather in the area. You'll notice that these are mostly lighter troops, because I don't think they need to be quite so heavy fighting these guys. We've also got some troops training in Akarn, so again, hopefully that'll be enough to hold off this. I did notice something interesting in this part of the world, however. Apparently, Khand has been expanding. They have expanded by one settlement to the west. They took this settlement of Parchereb, and I am very happy with that, actually. We are technically still at war with them, but any land that they take in Harad's neighborhood is good as far as I'm concerned. In the center, we're going to take Ulwar the Hunter, and we're going to move him west. It looks like the Reunited Kingdom has expanded, or at least encroached into our territory again. They've got a large stack here. This is not too intimidating. There are a couple of units of men-at-arms. This one's rather under strength. The rest is swordsmen, militia. There's a bow unit. So I think we should be able to handle this. What I'd like to do, rather than wait for them to take Athrad Morn yet again, I would like to put the fight on their territory. I do see a settlement under siege here, but I think I'm going to ignore that, and we will head directly under Athrad Morn with the aim of challenging this army and then taking Lond Nurnen, letting these two rebel settlements just exist here for a little while. I don't believe that I have enough forces to hold two places against the Reunited Kingdom, and I would just be shuttling back and forth endlessly if I did that. If I tried to take one, I'd have to grab the other and defend it. This way, hopefully, even if the Reunited Kingdom does take this, they will be so incensed at my bold strike into their heartlands that they will have no choice but to turn around and defend their honor by taking it back. So that is the goal. We'll see how that works. We are running very low on funds, though. We've been doing a lot of training, which is necessary, I think. So we've got a couple of units of berserkers here, some axemen and cav and archers, all heading west with the idea of reinforcing this army in the battles to come. I don't think we have any battles on the agenda for this turn, but actually maybe it would be good to handle this one. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if they stick or sally. Alright, it's infantry with one unit of march wardens. I'm going to take that fight. Even if they withdraw from battle, we should be able to catch the infantry and do some damage. Alright. So I don't really have to worry about rushing here. They do have that one unit of cav, but I'm confident I can take it out with my own chieftain's guard and other assorted cav. So we'll set back. Yeah, something like this ought to do. So they're back behind that rock formation. Looks like they're grabbing the high ground. Not too much of a problem as they don't have any ranged units. Well, I would have loved to have taken out that, that cav unit, but they're all running. So we'll settle for taking out these sword levies, I guess.
Flee from the field like frightened goats, hunt them down, and slay them all.
Now the problem, of course, with relying on our Chieftain's Guard like this is that we are going to lose one of these. Borlas is getting up there. I believe he's now very old, as opposed to just old. So we can't rely on him for much longer, unfortunately. Which means that we may lose this settlement that we just took.
Victory!
But maybe not for a little while. We did unfortunately pick up a governorship here. Borlas the Hunter picked up the lordship of this settlement here. But he's not very good. Incompetent governor. He's discourteous. He's shadow-touched is part of the reason there. He's antagonistic. So this is one of the traits that that is somewhat randomized when you have a faction leader and another family member spending time in the same settlement or in the same stack. There's a chance that you could pick up one of these traits. This is not a good one, obviously. Antagonistic, this is hurting his loyalty. This is hurting his opinion of liege trait. There are good versions of this trait, and the traits do have various levels that go up and down as time passes. So that will go away eventually, but it's not doing him any favors at the moment. Still got a bit of a stalemate up here. So I'm not going to get involved with anything just yet. Okay. I think next turn or two we'll deal with this. I would hope that we don't lose Breg Estelad, but you know, if we do at this point, let's see, what do we have in here? Almost full unit of slingers, a unit of Easterling skirmishers, some bows, an assortment of cav. So, unlikely we could hold this if they assault. Hopefully I'll be able to get there in time, but maybe not. If it falls, it falls. It's a very low population settlement. Much like Yathin Ra, you can tell the AI has been doing a ton of training out of here. So they've been really draining the population. That means that these settlements are not going to be too much use to us, but on the flip side, they're not going to be too much use to the AI either for quite some time. So if they should take it, I should be pretty well insulated from any further encroachment. Okay. Not much else to do here, so I think we're just going to end the turn. Okay, they're soaking us for money. I'm just going to deny that. And there they go. Okay. So they're attacking us right across the river. Now, we're not going to get the river on this particular battle map, which is okay. Pretty weak units here. 17 in this unit of men-at-arms, 3 in the other. Okay, I'm not too worried about this. Maybe I should be. I'm more worried than I am. Let's see. Call this 28, I guess. But we're going to get an open field here, and hopefully it will be, you know, pretty straightforward in terms of the terrain. I don't really want to deal with a bunch of forests and hills and stuff. Great. Okay. It is very thickly wooded. So we're going to pull up here. And we've got wains. I mean, this is part of the issue. They'll be completely useless in the forests here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you are interested in making the most use of your war wains, you want to try to do fighting when possible on roads, because there will always be that road running through the map. That's always going to be clear terrain for these vehicles. So something to keep in mind. Okay, there's only a single unit of cav. That's their general's bodyguard. So I think we're pretty safe to set up a fairly standard front line. Actually, let's put the spearmen on the flanks. Let's go axemen in the middle. And we've got some ranged. Not a ton, but still, I want to have the clear terrain so that we can actually get a few shots off. I will set my bows back. And we'll put the skirmishers up front as normal. Actually, we can afford to put them fairly far ahead because they don't really have any cav. Alright, we do have 2 units of Dark Helms. This is the first time they've seen any action. Let's take a look at them. Pretty nice sword unit here. I guess you might call them a medium unit. They're called heavy here, but they're not as heavy as just about anything the Reunited Kingdom fields. But they're good. They've got War Cry, which sets them apart. So I think I would like them to be on the flanks. And we'll put the spears on the farthest flanks. Okay. We got some Variag mercenaries that I'll put right here. We've got a warband that we'll just use as backup. A couple units of cav to actually let's put them here so they can get out ahead of the wains and do some flanking. And then with the chieftains, we'll put them right in the back row. All right. Just love the wains. Some great detail is in this unit. They've got some sort of extra weaponry in the carts here. Spears, arrows, swords. There's even sort of a battle axe shoved up there in the front. The guys themselves have axes, javelins. Just a great unit. One of these days, I will actually be able to use them in sort of a reasonable way. But it won't be this battle. That's because, in addition to the trees, we've got these rocks here. So the wains are going to be just hanging out in the back row, causing some fear to the enemy infantry that gets too close. Okay, here comes the enemy. Swords, militia. Looks like their generals in the center. Just about to walk into my skirmishers. Alright. They're keeping their general back for now. Pursuing, so that means they're charging the skirmishers. But their other units are now in range of my other missile troops, so we need to get ready for some war cry. Oh. Who can't war cry? Axeman. we go. Okay, and we will just hit their general with my Variags and Warband. Looks like my skirmish slingers are done for. Okay, some of my skirmishers got caught as well. I'm gonna turn my skirmishers around so my other infantry can catch up. Let's run those cav around, hit their archers. Spearmen are doing pretty well. How is the general? 6 left. Okay, these Kingdom Militia are coming for me, so we'll back off. 2 of them left. Looks like the Warband are getting in most of the kills. Oh, I guess the Variags didn't charge in. There we go. Hit these swords. I know they're gonna militia are gonna catch. But there's the general. One back here. Some of their units are breaking. Okay, great. There goes their right. Oh, I forgot about these guys. Their line is crumbling. Notice how few losses those Dark Helms took. 71, 70. I think the unit has something like 80.
The enemy flee from the field like frightened goats. Hunt them down and slay them all.
And compared to my Axemen, you know, they 37, 47 left. So these are all down to like half strength. Granted, I think I got off a bit of a charge with my Dark Helms, and the Axemen just stood there getting hits, so that probably accounts for some of the differential. Cav is still intact, these mercenaries are still intact, the Dark Helms are still largely intact, so that's very good. We lost quite a few skirmishers, but they did what I expect them to do anyway. Okay, that's it for that. Is there one unit left? Well, we'll call it there. Let's take a look. So we lost almost 300 and wiped them out. And that was their big stack. That was their big army. So hopefully they don't have, you know, another one just waiting. Yeah, the Axemen took a lot of losses. But the Dark Helms, let's see, took very few. But also didn't do as many kills. So the Axemen probably have a bit better attack. Where's the other unit of Dark? Okay, there they are. So 9 and 40. So yeah, interesting. Dark Helms should make up the center then, and I should have the Axemen kind of held back to do flanking. But of course, you never really have enough Dark Helms. Okay, there is another stack here. This looks like more of a problem. Oh no! We lost our ally Adunabar. Well, let's just check the authority here. That did bring him down 1. He was at 10, now he's at 9. So that loss of an ally did affect his authority, which is not great. Hopefully taking a settlement, taking another settlement or two will put that back where it ought to be. Alright, and now we're just losing money. Okay, they've got a ram, so that means they could attack. I could hit them with my cav right now. Nothing else can get there. I'd hit them with 2 units of cav, so I think that's what I'll do. Let's see, where can you go? Oh, well, he'll reinforce, I think. So what we'll do is we'll hit him, and I think the garrison and this other unit of cav will reinforce. Meanwhile, we'll bring up the rest of these troops. So we get a unit of cav, a couple warband and axes, a couple axes. You know, put it together to about a quarter stack or so. Hopefully that would be enough if we can win that fight. Alright, next up though. We are losing money now, in part because this is under siege, also in part because we're no longer trading with Harad. So they took this, but then lost it. Doesn't look like they're going to lose this again, and now there's walls there, so I guess that's something we could do. We could take this and at least deny that province to them for a couple of turns anyway. But we're going to have to address this. I think that'll wait for the next episode. Let's see. Where do we want to move, though? We've got a pretty good force still intact, but I think we're going to have to combine these units here. Now, we could grab a unit of Blackland mercenaries, but I think I want to do that once I'm quite sure of taking Lond Nurnen. But look at this. Lond Nurnen is on a settlement with roads, or in a province that does have roads. So I think what I'd like to do is move this army right down here, right where the road is, and just let it sit there. Same mercs available here. This is not a full stack. So in numbers we're about equal. In here, King's Swordsmen and King's Longbowmen. It looks like they're probably training these from here. So it would be fantastic to take this and destroy everything. Alright. So if I hang out here, probably they're going to attack me next turn. This will reinforce. I can wipe out both and take Lond Nurnen. I'm a little wary of putting it under siege, to be perfectly honest. For those of you who are not aware, Rome Total War does suffer from a very unfortunate bug whereby if you are besieging a settlement and then you are attacked by a relieving force, if you take the settlement in that battle, the game may crash as soon as you click Occupy, Enslave, or Exterminate. So that doesn't happen to me every time. It does not happen to me that frequently, but it does happen sometimes. And it's always Very, very sad when it does. So I think what I'll do is just leave him here. I'm assuming they're going to attack me next turn. And we'll fight that battle. And it'll be essentially the same thing. We'll just have to make sure that, that we get everything. And we may end up getting the city. Alright. Let's see if they stick around to fight. And they do. So Harad has a pretty balanced force here, although there's no cavalry, which is good. They do have quite a few ranged units. These archers of Harad are good enough at melee. They're pretty well armored. And these red sand archers, I think, have a better range. Yes, they do. They're faster. They get a bonus in deserts. And they're larger unit sizes, so they can send more arrows through the air. So this will be a bit tricky because, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish archers versus 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be about evenly matched. That'll at least leave my horse archers to run around the flanks, and I do have scary cav in these dragon shield riders. So, next episode, folks, we will fight the battle for Akarn. If we win there, we'll have to head south, take out some of these other stacks, and then figure out what our plan of attack with Harad is going to be. It's probably not going to be to take Naur Imloth, but probably a raiding journey down here. In any case, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.